Hello watchers, so as some of you may know, I do the part works for the Disney Dolls house. I love getting into part works. I always have since I was a kid. It's just the excitement of getting a new issue each week and putting something together and creating something. Now, there's not been a part works that I've loved or wanted to do or have any interest in for years. But funny enough, 3 of them come along at once. That I want to do. I'm about halfway through the Disney Dolls house now, which is 66, I believe. But they've also released, well, a different company have released another Dolls house, but it's for the Moomins. Now, I don't know if anyone remembers the Moomins. I love the Moomins, but I have only seen them from the 90s TV show. I didn't know that there were books and that there was this whole world, and that they originated from Finland and all sorts of different things. I didn't know until I started looking into for research for this video. And so there's another partworks company that have released another Dolls house, but for the Moomins, to create the Moomin's house. So let's stop me waffling and open the box. So I've been sent, I've ordered the first 4 issues. So we're going to have a look at those and put them together in this video. And see what the differences are with the Dolls house, the Disney Dolls house. Apart from obviously it's Moomin. But I mean in terms of, because from what I understand of it already, the Disney Dolls house is quite, yes there are wood elements, but there's a lot of plastic involved. I.e. stuff that you don't have to really craft yourself. Whereas I believe they've kept the Moomin to as much natural material, i.e. wood, as possible. So I think that's going to be the major difference. So let's just have a little discussion about the whole thing. They've sent me this little poster of what it's going to look like, which, if anyone knows the Moomins, you recognise it instantly as the MOOMIN House, which to me just looks so endearing. And then on the back, it's just a little letter to welcome you and to also explain how the package is going to work, because with the Disney Dolls house, you get 4 issues a month, but I've been splitting them up into issues for each week. And then there's options for premium stuff as well. Same with this one. So this package, this is actually 2 packages. The first package you got issue 1 and 2. Second package then got 3 and 4. But then from packages 3 to 11, we'll then get 4 issues each. And then for premium, I've gone for premium anyway, as well. But the thing is with this company, Deagostini, I think that's pronounced that way, I'm not sure.
Che schifo!
I don't want to know
tu hai
what you
preso
just
una
said.
ricetta che mia nonna ha fatto 30 anni fa e ci vai a mettere cazzi sour cream sopra.
Deagostini.
Don't kill me. You do have to pay for shipping and handling with this one. So it's a little bit more expensive than the Disney Dolls house. But then when we get to packages 12 to 27, there'll be 5 issues. So I think it works out about 120 issues like the Disney Dolls house as well. But it'll get there quicker. Like we'll build it quicker because obviously you're getting 5 issues towards the end. So that's just to explain that. Then we've got about the collection with Moomin. I didn't realise, by the way, that he's actually called Moomin Troll. I didn't realise they were trolls. So that's another little bit of fact. Oh. So again, more about the world of Moomins, which is another thing I'm excited for about this, because as I've said, I've only seen the 90s TV show when I was a kid. So I'm looking forward to learning about all of sort of the background and looking at the old artwork as well. That's something that really, really does intrigue me. And then this big thing is then showing you the floor plans, the characters that we're going to receive, and just how it sort of opens and closes in sort of as much detail as possible. And then on the back, just about what happens when you pay for premium. And see, I'm a little bit confused with this because they keep advertising the house. The house. But then there's a bridge. So do we get the bridge as well? Because obviously Snufferkin is famous for the bridge. So I don't know. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I'll have to find that out. Okay, so let's take this. So for each video, I'll be doing 4 issues in one video rather than weekly like I do with the Doll's House. Because I think the shipping on these take a bit longer. I don't think they come from the UK, but they're in English, so that's a plus for me. So I'm going to take it one issue at a time, build a little bit, then look at another issue, build a bit. I think that's how it's best to approach it. So then I can then put chapters in the video as well, so you can jump to whatever issue that you need to. So let's have a look at the first issue, which we've got Moomin on the front, and it's this blue colour. I think each issue they focus on a character. That's one of the things. So then in this issue, we'll be building his bed and the porch steps. Then we've got residents of Moomin Valley. So we're focusing on Moomin Troll, who is very inquisitive and kind, which he is from what I can remember. And then it goes really into detail about how he's designed, how he's related to the other characters, different variations of, you know, how he's been represented throughout the ages. And then just different quotes and things. So this to me is very fascinating because I'm very much interested into the whole Moomin world, because I realised how vast it is. It goes way beyond the 90s TV show. I think they've redone a TV show. There's a current TV show, but it's not a cartoon. It's like Pixar, like puppets, I think. But this, I love this. These drawings. My instinct is telling me to recreate this in like a lino cut, like printmaking. I kind of really want to do that. That looks fascinating. A nice big print. But I just love this. And then, okay, so this is the Chronicles of Moomin Valley. So it's different stories and, you know, where it's set and about the original storybooks that were 1945. So almost 90 odd years ago. So almost a century. Oof. Sounds like a long time. Oof. And then we've got the assembling the MOOMIN House, which is obviously the bits that we get in this issue, which we'll get onto in a little while. And then again, more assembly, as well as little tidbits about Moomin Troll and different bits. And then the back, we just get the character himself. So let's get on with assembling what they want us to assemble in this issue. So first up in this issue, we get Moomin Troll himself holding a little flower, but he's really very nicely done. He stands up all by himself as well, in his little tail. Easy to knock over, of course. He's only on 2 little legs. His little tail. And his nice bright blue eyes. I think these are really well done. Of course they're plastic. But yeah, that's really lovely. Nice to see Moomin Troll there. These are the parts that we get in this issue. They have given us some glue. But to be honest with you, I'm just going to use wood glue. What I use anyway, which is this Evo stick. You know, it's been working fine for the Disney Doll's House, and you can get a fine point with this little tub that I've got. So I'd rather use that because this stuff is like watered down and it's just probably not good. Because it looks exactly the same as the one that we got in the Disney Doll's House, so I'm imagining it's the same. Got some fabric. Oh, we've got some 240 grit sandpaper. Then we've got obviously our stick of, we've got this 3M, I'm guessing this is double-sided sticky tape of some sort in there. And then we've got a foam block. Ooh. This is metal. It's not plastic. That's gonna, can you hear that? That's metal. That's why it weighs quite a bit. Especially that bit. And another bit of thing there. That's a chunky piece of metal. Wow, I'm really impressed by that's metal and not plastic. I'm really impressed by that. Nice, 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 nice. So, what are we doing first? Let's do the let's follow the magazine. So first up we need this part 1 and part 2. Insert part 1, 2 without using the glue. They always like to see if it fits. Are we doing it the right way? Yes, we are. Like so. Tip, if the part does not fit through, roughen the edges of the tabs for sandpaper. Yeah, so if for whatever reason the bits don't slot together, just take a little bit off these, either with a scalpel or the sanding paper, just to sort of get them to fit more snugly. We recommend applying the glue with a toothpick, which you can do, but because I've got such a fine nib on here, I don't really have to do that, so it speeds up my process a little bit more. I squeeze too much. Just spread it around. Also, the other reason to use a toothpick is to get into all the nooks and crannies a bit easier. But if anyone watches my Doll's House videos, they know I always clean the glue up, and all you do is get some cotton tips or cotton buds or Q-tips, and then just clean up any glue, because last thing you want is some shiny bits of glue on places. Or you can remove it with a toothpick as well. Then the next thing we're going to do is pop these end pieces on. Well, side pieces, but they need to obviously go the right way, so the right and the left need to go on the right sides, and then pop them into place. So we're just going to pop a little bit of glue on there and slot them into place, making sure it really does connect so there's no gap. So they're super duper snugly. And then again, wiping away any excess glue. So that will fit neatly, so it covers the edge of this baseboard. So it fits beautifully on the tabletop like that, and then you do the same thing with the other side. For the next part, we need to take this bit and do a little bit of cutting. So I recommend that you get a scalpel or a craft knife or just anything with a super fine blade like this, so you can get into really tight spots. And of course a cutting mat as well, because the last thing I do is gouge into your tabletop. So what we want to be doing here is just cutting. Can you see these tiny little bits where they're just all connected? So these are going to create the steps, I believe. So they just want you to cut ever so neatly across like that, and just don't try and cut it all in one go, just go in layers. And it'll eventually snap off like so, and then do the same for the other one as well. like so. And then they just want you to sand these little nodules off that have popped up on there, which is why we've got sandpaper. Now personally, I'm going to trade this up for 320 grit sandpaper because you get super smooth results with that. But because these aren't really going to be seen, it's just a case of where it needs to be for slotting together. So all you do is just sand those nodules down. So you get a smooth edge. Do it with the other ones as well. And then do it with the final one as well. This one's not too bad though. But be careful not to chip any of that blue paint off just yet. And get rid of any of the dust. And then they want us to take the flat bit, i.e. the bit that doesn't have any of these notches, and they want us to stick that bit just on the front there. So we can do that. I'm just going to put a bit of glue. That's how my brain works. I see blue, so therefore I say blue. And it rhymes. So popping it along there and using the edge of the cutting mat to keep it flat on the surface, and then just squish it together. But making sure these edges, A, don't have glue on them. Glue showing, I should say, and B, that they're squished up against the edges of the thing enough. And then that is all they want you to do for the porch. So then you'll save these two pits for some upcoming issues, but I'm assuming they just sit on the steps like so. But we will see in a little while. I need to sand those sides down, but we'll do them in a bit. So we'll just put them to one side at the moment. And then the other thing they want you to do in this issue is put the bed together. The metal bed. I still can't believe it's metal. It's crazy. So for the bed, we've got this bit, which I'm assuming where the mattress sits. So they want you to put, this is called part 9 and this is part 7. So all they want you to do, is it the right way up? Right, yeah. So they want this to go this way up, where you can just see the notches there. So then these notches are going to slot into place, but you put this on the top and slide it downwards until you hear some sort of click, or you know that it's in position. Yeah, so it's attached and not going to come out, like so. And then do the same, I believe, for the other side. They want you to glue them into place as well, just popping a little bit of glue on the undersides here. But they want you to use something that they're claiming is quick dry glue, which I've got an all-purpose glue, but I don't think it's for metal. So you need to find a glue that is for metal. I know, application on hard surface such as glass and metal, so it will work for this. Now this is very messy glue, it does get everywhere, but it also comes off super easy as well. So what I'm going to do to make life easier is just pop a little bit of glue just on each of these notches, like so, and then slot it into place, because as you're slotting it into place it'll squish it all together, like so. And then of course wipe off any excess glue you can see very quickly, because it does dry very quick. like so, and then do the exact same thing with the other bedposts. I know you guys can't feel how heavy this is, but I'm just so impressed by it. So yeah, slotting that one into place. Then of course, I put way too much glue on that side. I'm just getting it off. That glue does dry. That's just Bosstick that I've used, by the way. All-purpose glue, as they call it. So in the magazine, we've just got some instructions about any quick dry glue. And then we move on to putting the mattress together. But that in itself is just lovely. Lovely jubbly. So we want the big foam piece, which is essentially a mattress. And then also the fabric. So this is going to create like a sheet, I'm assuming. So they want you to put the foam in the middle of the sheet. And then they want you to fold the left and the right side of the sheet over. And then they basically, it's like wrapping a parcel. They then want you to put them over like that. And then fold that over on the top, making sure that the detail of the corners are like this. So it does actually look like a bed sheet. So let's try and do that again. Flip it over, over again. So therefore that's one done. And then they want you to do the same on the other side as well. Just pull in a bit closer. And we're gonna hold it over like that. I mean, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and glue it in place with just some quick dry glue. Just putting a bit of blob, because this is gonna lay underneath, so you're not gonna see the glue too much, so don't worry about that. Go, just helps stick it in place a little bit while you get the other bits together. And pop that over the top as well. I'm putting the glue back on top. Oh. So it should look a little bit something like that. Again, keeping the corners look as if it's a tucked underneath sheet. And then they want you to take the double-sided sticky tape that they've given you and place that on top as well. Again, not only to keep those flaps down, but also to help it stay in place in the bed. So like so. And then I want you to take this bit of balsa or plywood and pop a bit of glue on each four corner. each four corners, I should say. Flip it over and then pop it into the bed frame. Then just flatten it down to keep it in place. And then what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of glue on there and a little bit of glue on there as well, just to help the mattress stay in place. And then unpeel this side of the double-sided sticky tape. And then pop that into place there as well. There we go. We've got our mattress in our bed now. Very nice, very nicely. And it's the right size for Moomin Troll to lay down in, with his legs sticking up. I mean, if you put his tail down there, he can lay on his back. But yeah, I just can't get over the metal. I'm very impressed by that. And that is literally it for issue 1. So let's move on to issue 2. So issue 2 is all about Snuffikin. I remember him. So we're going to be finishing the porch steps, and then obviously we've got some decorative items. And we've got some lovely information all about Snuffikin and how he's related to everybody. And just some lovely, lovely information on him. I enjoy reading this later. And then more all about the original artwork and drawings. I think the person that wrote Moomin, I think he also illustrated them as well, or she did. Tove. I think that's female. I think. Don't quote me on it. And then we've got assembly instructions for our different bits that we've got in this issue. And then more. And then obviously Snuffikin's on the back. So let's get on with the assembly. So we obviously want our porch bits from previous issues. And then we want our bits from this issue, which comes like this. So let's just get the cardboard backing off. What do we want to do first? We need to chop these two bits off, just like we did in the previous issue. Really, I think my blade needs changing. Yeah, my blade needs changing. So then you don't have to worry about sanding those bits down, because you're not actually going to see them. So then that is supposed to then go onto that part that we've done. And it's supposed to sit on there as deep as it will go. So you've got these two little bits showing. So that pops in there. So, and then we just glue it into place. So just glue along here. So just glue it along there. And then pop him back. And I'm just going to flip him over without removing him, and then just wiping any of the glue away. Just in case, so pop him there. Right, and then the bits that we got from the first issue then needs to slot in here, so they're going to create the risers. So we just want to pop a little bit of glue along the edge with the bit that sticks out. But you don't need to glue that bit because that's going to slot down the hole. And pop that into place like so. And then get the glue along there. And then I think it's just a case of repeating the process. Yeah. So until we get all the steps formed. And I think the final one is taking this other step that we got with this issue, then popping the glue a bit on there, then a bit on here as well, just to make sure. Oi. And slotting that into place. It's a very tight slot. And then just look around to make sure there's no glue anywhere and that it's not looking crazy. But yeah, they are the steps. Very nicely done. Oh, now we've got too much light. What is going on here? Right, hopefully that's not too bad. Sorry about that. Perhaps if I lock the white balance, hopefully that's not too bad. Okay, so we've got those steps in place. So what we're going to do is turn it around and we're going to work on the back part. And we're going to take, I believe, yeah, so we've got these two sides with a beautiful decking engravement, but what you realize is that these are actually cut at an angle, so they need to then be placed with this part, which is also cut at an angle. So what it's going to do is create a perfect 90-degree cut angle, so it should fit beautifully together. Yeah. So what we're going to do is just pop some glue along this bit. Along there. I'm going to do the other side as well. I've got it lifted up. And then squidge them into place. Squidge that one into place as well. So then we're creating like a little box. And then we're going to slot this one on the top as well. So let's pop glue along the top here. And then we obviously want to line up all the holes from where the thing are, because then it'll really keep those bottom bits in place as well. And keeps everything together very nicely. And then that's the steps done, which are very lovely. So we've still got some bits that we're working with. So we need to take these bits out. So we need to cut along, you know, where we can see where they're attached, and get these individual pieces. I've got those two out. And then this one. So these are going to go to create a coat stand. Pop them out. I mean, I'm assuming they want you to throw those away, but actually I might use that as a stencil for something, for journaling or scrapbooking or whatever. And then they want you to do the same thing with these as well. We've then got this centerpiece where they want us to attach the footings on there. They are recommending using tweezers, but we don't have any in this issue yet. I mean, I do have some, but I personally just prefer to use my hands. Always have done. It's probably professional modelers going, no, but I just like getting my hands dirty, because I just do. I don't know, I get a better feel for things as well. Like I can gauge it better. So basically just pop some glue on each one of those, and then almost like teeth, it's going to bite it. That's what we're going to do. And do it. There we go. Push it in as far as it'll go, and then do it on the same for all of them. And then we're going to attach these bits to the poles here, and they need to be attached that way up. So you've got the curve at the bottom, and then they're just attaching to each one of these holes. It does say that each one of the holes is obviously being filled with white paint when they've treated the wood. So just poke a toothpick in to open up the hole. So therefore there's more room to squish the wood in place. And dab a little bit of glue onto the bits that stick out. And then pop each one of these into each hole, which will be a tight fit. So really press them in. Okay, so it should look something like that. They're all the same level. And the next part is quite simply adding a bit of glue to this bit on the end, and then popping them into the base. And there we have it, our little coat stand. Now, as endearing as what it is, as the way that it is, it's annoying me that we've got brown and white bits showing. So my instinct is to paint it all white. I will show you what paint I will use. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll use this So Flat matte acrylic. So it won't really have a shine on it, even though I know the paint they've used is a little bit of a shine. But I'd rather it be matte than shiny. Or you could just use normal acrylics, because acrylics will adhere to practically anything. But I will thin this down a little bit and take my time and cover the different layers. Obviously starting with the browns first, and then build up the layers of that. Shall I do a separate video for any customizations, or shall I do it at the end of this video? We'll decide, because I'm guessing these videos are going to be quite long anyway. So we'll decide that at a later date, I think. Okay, so on the next bit for issue 2 is we've got some figures and an item for Snuffikin. We've got his tent. So look at Snuffikins. He is so very well done. Does he stand up? He does, and is at an angle to look quite cool. But yeah, he is so nicely done. He's very well painted as well. I hate that when you get figures and they've just like gone mad with the painting. So yeah, very pleased with Mr. Snuffikins. So he can go over there and join Moomin Troll. So then for the tent we've got this plastic A-frame. And then we've got some fabric in a plastic bag. It's sort of stitched in the correct places. So it's going to create this sort of tent shape. There's a little triangle there that's falling out. I don't know if we need that or not. So what we need to do is they gave us this double-sided sticky tape. Is they want us to put double-sided sticky tape basically all the way along these edges on both sides, and then on this flat side as well. Not this side where, can you see how it's thinner than that side? So this is the back side of the tent, which is thicker. So let's pop some double-sided sticky tape all the way along there. No, my hands have now got glue everywhere. So just pop. Tape all the way along there. You don't have to be too neat because you're not really going to see this, because it's going to be covered with the fabric. Okay, so we've got tape on 3 sides. So this will obviously be the opening side, so that bit will stick on the side with no sticky bits. So let's remove the tape from the 2 longer sides. The backing, sorry, not the tape. Which will be easier said than done. Also meant the tape they've supplied is actually really sticky, which is good. Because you know how sometimes you get the stuff from Poundland and it's just, it's not worth a pound because it doesn't stick anything, or it just sticks to itself, which is just defeats the purpose. Okay, so we've undone all of them apart from the back bit. So what we're going to do is move all that out of the way, and then we're going to pop the tent on top. But on the fabric there's these little holes, and that's for these bits of wood to pop through. I'm just going to pull the fabric into the right sort of shape. Making sure that these bits of wood pegs, tent pegs, are in the correct position. And then what we're going to do is then put 3 pieces of double-sided tape here to fold those bits over. So it should now be looking like that, where you can see all the pegs sticking out. Okay, my front camera has died, so now I'm going to have to rely on the top camera here. What am I doing? So what I'm going to do, now that I've taken the double-sided sticky tape cover off there, you just pop it to keep that bit thingied. And then what I'm going to do is put a dab of glue and just have him flicking over like that. And then I'll do the same with the other side as well. So I'm just going to use a dab of all-purpose glue. And then just fold it over. Like so. And I'm just going to keep this side straight actually, now that I've seen that. But because I've cut the edges off, I'm just going to attach a bit of tape at the bottom like that to just fold it over, so then when it's laid flat you won't see it. Then I'm just going to do the same with this little end as well, just to neaten it up. So then the front will look like that. Now the other thing they suggest you to do is that little bit of triangle bit of fabric that they had, is to just dab a bit of glue and pop it on there just to give it some extra depth. So, and a bit of structure as well. And also it just neatens up the triangular A-frame. So again, just using a bit of all-purpose glue. And there we have it. Our little tent. That just looks so well done. So that's it for the assembly of this issue 2. So we've finished our porch, we've created a coat stand, and we've got snufferkins as well. So again, this is coming along really, really nicely. Okay, so issue 3 in a moment. Okay, so we're on issue 3. And this issue's all about Little My. And we're going to be focusing on the roof of the porch, or the front porch. And we're going to be making a tiled stove. So we've got all about Little My and where she comes from and how she's had different variations throughout since she was created. Invasion of the Meebles. So this is the first time she was introduced in one of the comics. And then we've got the instructions for the front porch. And then the tiled stove. And about the real Moomin House as well in southern part of Finland. And then Little My on the back. So first up, I have to show you Little My herself. Look at this. I mean the size of her as well compared to Moomin Droll. But she's always been little, hence Little My. But I always remember being super annoying, like really high pitched, just the worst little sort of sister that you would ever want to have. Yeah, that's Little My. That's how I remember it anyway. So, let's get on with building the front porch. We've obviously got a whole bunch of little bits and bobs that need to be stuck together. Right, so first thing they want to do is take part 1 and part 5, and it's going to slot in there. And then the blue part will go on there as well. And then these are going to go on the top. Getting the painted side of these on here. So then the painted side matches up, and then that's going to be where it attaches to the house, so it doesn't need to be primed up painted. And then that one is going to slot there as well, so it completes the triangular roof. So now we know it all fits together. Let's pop just a little bit of wood glue on these bits to make sure it all stays in place. So that was quite quick and simple. One of the top tips that they've got in this magazine is to sand some of this off to make it look weathered and used to make it more charming. I'm going to think about doing that, whether I want to do that or not. But I'm going to do like a modification video separate to this one, because this one I think is going to be over an hour anyway. So I'm going to separate the sort of modifications into a separate video. The next thing we're doing is the tiled stove. So we've got lots of these plastic bits that have been moulded into individual tiles. And then some little doors there. Right, so they want you to lay it out in a particular order. Yeah, so they tell you there's a number on the back of these. So part 1, is the one with the hole in the middle, and then part 7 has got the issue 2 on them, which has got 2 parts, and then part 8 are these ones, which have got the number 3 on them. Put on there. So all of these are supposed to go around the bottom of this, which have got the numbers on the way you're supposed to put them. So starting with a part 8, one of the thicker ones. And then we fix this somehow. Oh yeah. So it goes in these teeny tiny holes. Like so. And part 1, 3. Yeah, they're recommending using some quick dry glue to hold it in place. I'm using all-purpose glue because it's the only one I have to hand. Keep meaning to get some more. Just pop it on like so. And then in there. Yeah, so stick this one in where you've got the opening here next to that one. And then this one needs to pop in there. But it's saying don't glue that part in. We'll do it in the next issue, so I'm guessing there's another part to this that we've not yet got. So then the other part 8 goes in the next to it as well, but again inverting it so the thinner side's at the bottom. And it should fit together like so. But again, they're saying don't glue those in until the next issue. Now we're going to put the thinner parts in here as well. Then the final front plate goes on there, and it should all hold relatively together. But one thing they're recommending you do before you stick the last 3 parts in is actually paint the inside black to represent sort of a soot effect. To paint it inside here and at the bottom of the others black. You can do it with a permanent marker, you can do it with acrylic paint, you can use anything that you like. I think I'm going to use like an iridescent black one because I'm going to try and hope, especially in my modification video, is to actually get a light in here and affix lights to this, because I don't think we get any lights in the magazine, so I'm going to have to retrofit them. So that'll be part of the modification video as well. So that's a tip for you as well if you want to make it look a bit more realistic. So that's like that. I'm going to just push it in for the moment. And the next thing is to get this thicker bit and then glue these doors into place. these lovely rose gold sort of brass looking doors. Yeah, so they want you to use this one first, which has got the latch on, and just pop a bit of glue just on the corner and the bit that sticks out. Pop it there. And then the same for the other side. And the latch actually goes down and locks in place. That's how detailed it is. So you can raise the latch and put it back down. And then all of that should slot into place, one hopes. Yeah, like so. So then we've got a tiled stove. Hopefully yours is looking a little bit better because it's glued into place a little bit. But don't glue all the bits in places. As I said, it's only this part, this one and the first one we're putting that should be glued in, because I'm assuming we're getting the top part in the next issue. So yeah, that's it for this issue. Quite a straightforward one, apart from the stove's a little fiddly. I forgot to mention that we get a basket in this issue as well. In I think issue 6, they're going to show us how to make some stuff to put in this basket. So yeah, I forgot to mention that. So we've got issue 4 now, all about Paw Patrol. Moom and Papa, that's it, Moom and Papa, I knew I said it wrong. So we're going to be finishing up the stove and working on the posts for the front porch, and we've also got some of the ground floor of the building as well. So we've all about Moom and Papa and how he relates to everybody and the different variations of him. And meeting Susanna and a magical journey. Interesting facts, picture. See, I love these illustrations. I don't know why. I just want to make printmaking lino cut versions of these with such vivid colours. I think I've already said it in this video, but if it's something you want me to see me do in terms of printmaking, let me know and it'll spur me on to do it. I think I'll do it anyway, but let me know if you want to see that in video format. Then we've got the assembly instructions for the porch and the rest of the stove. So I think I'm gonna do the stove first and then the porch. But let me just show you Moom and Papa. Look at this guy with his walking stick. And he's even got a top hat. That is just fabulous. So we've got Moomin Troll. Papa Moomin. So pop him there for now. Yeah, so then the stove is this very, top of the stove is this very decorative piece, which is lovely, lovely. And then we've got another piece similar to the one that we got in the other issue. So we're going to be affixing them together. Alright, so all these little notches now need to be fit into those notches, which is why they didn't want you to glue all the pieces together. So this number 1 is the part that you need for the where the stove doors are. So this is going to be fiddly. So I'm guessing we just push everything out. so once you get it in, everything just literally slots into place very easily. So of course now that is all stable and is all done very well. And then I think, does this just literally slot on the top? So yeah, it just says press together, and then the same pop some glue in each one of those, but I'm not going to do that yet because, as I've said, I'm going to do a modification on this. And then I want you to just pop this on the top, but the flat side of this needs to go towards the back. And then that should just slot into place, should it? Yeah. So you should get that nice crisp edge. But doesn't that just look fabulous? Look at that. And then we can open the doors as well. And see inside. So yeah, that's a lovely, lovely piece. So let's get on with the front porch. So first thing, we have got some of these bits and these bits. So they're wanting us to cut them out of the moulding pieces. So yeah, these ones need to just be my camera needs adjusting just a little. So they just need cutting along the top. Then they want sanding down as well. Again, I'm just using my 320 grit because it gives a smoother finish. So they're nice and smooth like so. Then we've also got these that they want to cut off as well. So they come off in two parts, and then sand them down as well to make them nice and neat. These as well. I'm not sure what these are. There must be some sort of decoration. So these just want coming off the moulding. The sprues, as anyone in Warhammer knows. So then we've got two of those. And what we've got are these parts. I missed a bit. That's what always confused me. Those ones will be glued onto part 6, which are the shorter posts than those ones. So they'll be glued to that one, and then these ones will be glued to that one. I forgot about this piece. So we'll just do the same that we do with the others. So now we've got the long ones, we can just simply glue them in place. Don't put too much glue on. She says putting too much glue on. This one So all it is to add more decoration. And add a bit more depth, so therefore you're getting it more realistic, which is what it's supposed to be. So just do that for both of them and all the way around. Okay, so the next thing they want you to do is take the stick, but then cut it into 10mm parts, so basically 10 centimeters. Is that right? Yeah. So I know each one of these squares is a centimeter, so we'll just do it like so. They want you to take these balustrades they've given you, which they're calling part 2, which we've got 2 of, and they want you to put one of these sticks in the bottom of it. So it's going to create like a dowel sort of effect. So they want you to do it for both of them. But if for some reason you can't get these little sticks in the holes, just sharpen them to like a point to make it go in easier. So again, they want you to do it for these longer wood posts, but they want you to put glue just on the tip. And pop those inside as well. And the other one. And then of course I want you to do it with these as well, the smaller ones as well. Okay. So now they want you to attach these parts to the longer ones. And pop a bit of glue on the end as well. Am I doing that the right way up? Yep, so on this side, which has got the flatter part, that one's got a more decorative side. So the flatter ones, I'm just going to pop a dab of glue, and then it should slot in the hole quite nicely, like so. And then do the same with the other one as well. So then we've got 2. Right, so now they want you to trim these ones. I don't know why they didn't get us to do this. how much? Cut to 3mm, so yeah. Would have been better to have done this beforehand, but anyway. They want you to cut it to 3mm on these smaller ones. Alright. So now we're going to take the plastic mouldings that we had, and they want to go on the end of here, upside down. And then we're just going to simply glue that part onto there. But what we need to take note of, one second, just popping some glue on the top there, popping it in. But what we need to take note of is to make sure that these are flat on both ends, so they're not like that. They need to both be flat. Flush, I should say, is the correct term. And then just leave it to dry, and then do the same on the other side. And then pop those there, leave them to dry. So the next part that we're going to do is we're going to take our porch steps, and we're going to pop these into there. So dab some glue in there. So line it up with the edge of the wood grain there as well to keep them straight. And then do the same for the other one as well. Down like so. And then the next thing is to take the roof, pop some glue into these two corners, or even on the dowels on the top, making sure it all sticks together. Alright, so now we've got the porch. Then the last thing they want you to do is add these into the corners at the top to give them more stability. So let's pop those on and putting a bit of glue on as well. Okay, I take it back what I said earlier. So these ones that have got the strip missing, they actually need to be facing inwards, so then this can lay flush on the top. Let's just get that one in there to show you. I thought that was a bit silly, but anyway. It's all coming apart. Let me just clean all that up. Pop a bit of glue on there. Okay, and now do the same with the other side. Just pop in some glue on the top. And then along the side as well. So there we have it, we've got our porch, our front porch complete. It's rather lovely, but I'm just going to leave it laying flat for it to completely dry. Like so. And then we've also got in this issue this piece as well, but we're not using this until the next issue, I think, which will be issue 5. And will be another video because this one is already so long. But yeah, that is it for the first episode in this Moomin series. It's been a very long one. I'm going to try and edit it as best I can to not be so long in boring. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this. And I'm excited to see this MOOMIN House come together. Let me know your thoughts on Moomin, because I'd love to hear it, because there's some people that are actually quite frightened of the Moomin, so it's interesting to see everybody's take on it. And I know I've got quite a big audience in the States, which Moomins is relatively new to the States, so it'd be interesting to see what the Americans think of this. So I hope you enjoyed this first episode of this Moomin build. The next episode I'm going to do a modification, so I'm going to add a light, well, try and add a light into the stove, paint it, and do some other little mods and things that I want to do. So it won't be a video quite as long, but it's just showing you how I'm going to adapt it, and if you guys wish to do the same or just want to see what I'm up to, by all means come and watch. And then the video after that will be another 4 issues of the Moomins. So yeah, I hope you join me on those videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.